Hello everybody and welcome to episode 29 of my Guild Wars 2 series. Today we are heading back into the personal story. We have done a lot of map completion here in Metakar province, and last episode we completed the entire zone, so I think it is indeed a good time for us to head back and continue our Asuran personal story with chapter 2 of the personal story. Starting off, let's go ahead and read this mail here, and we can go ahead and delete this map completion mail, but we have this new letter from Zojja that says dangerous and annoying developments. I'm having a really bad day and I need to vent. My nemesis is back in town and he's determined to make my life miserable. He's Inquest, so it's only a matter of time before he adds injury to insult. Come by my lab and lend an ear, okay? Written by Zojja. So let's go ahead and go to her lab, which is located in Radasum. So let's go ahead and return to the city here and go to Magic Cat Court Waypoint. And here we are back in Radasum. I am wanting to spend some time this episode to finish completing this area. We are at 66%, but we are going to naturally complete some of it as we go through this personal story. So let's go ahead and head into the Snaff Memorial Lab, which is Zojja's private lab here in Radasum, and we can do our story mission here where credit is due. We can go ahead and chat with Zojja, who's right here with Mr. Sparkles, and let's go ahead and see what's going on with the Inquest and her nemesis here.
I got your message. It was a tad on the cranky side even for you. What's on your mind?
Violence. What do you know about a wretched little pipsqueak named Kudu? Cross-reference criminal, megalomaniac, and plagiarist.
I've heard of him. He's an Inquest bigwig now, but he used to be Snaff's apprentice. Then you came along and Snaff traded up.
That's him. Now, out of pure spite, Kudu's invited me to watch him demonstrate some sort of weather-changing device for the Arcane Council.
My first invention was a weather changer. I called it the Variable Atmospheric Conditioner. Good old VAC. It got me accepted to college. It was pretty rough, but it worked, mostly. And if Kudu is using my invention without giving me credit, I'll call him out in front of the whole council.
I was hoping you'd say that. Get a copy of your blueprints from the archives. We'll wipe that smug little smirk off Kudu's insufferable face.
So it looks like that Zojja's nemesis Kudu is using our old device that we made a long time ago, the Variable Atmospheric Conditioner. That's just called VAC for now, and we can go ahead and confront Kudu, who is giving a demonstration of this device, and we can go ahead and call him out. So let's go ahead and begin heading down into the lowest layer of Radasum. We have explored the top layer and the middle layer, so now let's head over to the bottom layer. You can go ahead and just run down all the stairs here, and we can see that we are getting further and further deeper into the city. And we actually see right here that there is a ton of Inquest around here, which is very interesting. And that actually looks like we have to go up for our story mission, but we can go ahead and just take a look at this. We have an Inquest recruiting station here, and this seems to be where the Inquest tend to hang out here in Radasum. Of course, they're not being too violent right now, but of course that might change in the future. I'll go ahead and just waypoint back up to the top of Radasum, and then let's go ahead and come over here into our college. This is the College of Synergetics, and let's go ahead and talk to the archivist here. And he says, what can I do for you? And we can say, I need to look up a blueprint for a variable atmospheric conditioner. And he says, one moment please, I'm sorry, I can't find any information about such a device in our records. And I'll say, what? There should be a patent on file. It was my first, so I'd remember. He says, we're not. We keep physical backups of all of our patents at our secondary facility. I'm sure we'll have a copy of your patent there. And we can go ahead and head to the secondary Synergetics facility that looks like it is in Metakar province. So let's go ahead and head over here towards Decider Atom. The beautiful city here on our right, and of course we have the swamp there off in the distance, and we can see the haven to our right. Let's go ahead and enter the story mission where credit is due, and let's go ahead and figure out what happened with our blueprint. And it looks like this entire town is on fire.
Can't breathe. Smoke choking me.
Fire,
Sentences
Inquest,
all day.
and I've got a stomachache! Yeah, burn it all. Every last bit of it.
I'm glad you're here. I heard Kudu's lackeys were going to attack the archive annex. Looks like I heard right. Kudu knows what he's doing. I'll give him that. The fire started in the records room, and all the Peacemaker golems have been deactivated.
He's one step ahead of us then. The blueprints for my weather device are also missing from the archives. The only backups were stored in this annex.
Which is on fire. Come on. Without those blueprints, the trail leading to Kudu goes up in smoke.
So let's go ahead and secure the archives by clearing out the Inquest agents. So let's go ahead and run into here, and we can go ahead and try to help all these innocent Asura that are hanging out here with our trusty engineer weapons, and we can go ahead and just deal with all of them all around this area here.
Hold it right there, pal. Nobody Nobody gets past us.
Go ahead and use my flamethrower, and we can go ahead and get closer into the battle here. Go ahead and use some of our AoE attacks. You can go ahead and fight fire with fire here because they are setting this entire place on fire. Looks like they have some extinguishers here as well. So maybe they are trying to control the fire a little bit. Very interesting. But I'll go ahead and just bring out my pistol because I noticed I had to swap my weapons once to get that achievement there. And then you can go ahead and deal with all of these Inquests right here. My pistol is definitely much weaker than my rifle when attacking enemies right now because I don't have a lot of condition gear, and also it's more like single target damage, I think. So once I'm out of combat here, I'm definitely going to go ahead and switch back to my rifle because I like that one much more. With rifle in hand, let's go ahead and leap into this group here.
You can't stop us, you brainless nincompoop. Nobody can.
And then let's go ahead and stop these Inquests right here. Looks like we have fought through all the groups of Inquests, and we can come into here.
It's nearly gone. Fan those flames. Make it burn faster.
And it looks like there are some chests in here, so let's go ahead and try to recover these chests. We can extinguish the fires. Last Inquest down. Go ahead and grab this water bucket, and then let's run over here. Looks like 3 different fires that we can set out, so let's go ahead and then chat with Zojja now that all of those are out and see if any of the archives survived.
We're too late? The evidence we needed to prove Kudu stole my idea is now a pile of ashes, soot, and failure.
Not a failure, a setback. Now that we know Kudu's up to something big, we just need to figure out what it is and how to stop it.
I'm ready. Plagiarism and arson are one thing, but wiping out all records of my very first invention? I'm going to tattoo Kudu's butt with boot prints!
That's what I like to hear. One of Kudu's lackeys has a lab nearby. Her name is Plunka, and I bet she still smells like smoke. Meet me at Plunka's lab. I predict she's just dying to tell us why Kudu wants your weather changer.
So this mission is complete. We can go ahead and accept our reward here, which is a ring, and I'll go ahead and pick the precision because that is pretty good to go alongside some power gear. We can go ahead and equip that. We leveled up to level 22, so we can go ahead and just close out all these menus, and then let's go ahead and interrogate Kudu's lackey Plunka at the Inquest Inner Complex. So let's go ahead and run towards there. So a reminder what this area is, we have the Inquest complex here, we have the outer complex that we did one of the last tasks in this zone in, but in order to enter the inner complex you have to come all the way to the western side of the zone, and you have to go through this private Asura gate in order to enter the complex. So let's go ahead and enter our story mission right here of Salt in the Wound, and we can go ahead and find this lackey. Inside the complex.
Inside, and we get to beat Kudu's whereabouts out of her.
And let's go ahead and find Plunka. We can see this horrible looking area, but also very cool and very pretty. Looks like Plunka is towards the center here.
Where did everybody go? And what's that over there?
Looks like there is a body of a worker in this cage, and I am reluctant to enter, but let's go ahead and do so.
The doors.
Looks like it was a Mesmer clone there.
Zojja! Kudu knew you'd show up sooner or later, and that you'd walk right into our trap. He gave me a message for you. How does it feel to be perpetually second best? Get comfortable, Footnote. You'll be old, ugly, and dead before we let you out of there. Well, older, uglier, and deader anyway. Enjoy your stay.
So it looks like we are trapped in here and we have to figure out a way to get out of this prison. So let's go ahead and investigate our surroundings here. So it just says, I will not be shown up by that strumpet. Minya, I mean savant, find us a way out. It looks like there is a Savari here, so let's go ahead and chat with the Savari and see what he has to say. A Savari in this place, very interesting.
Hey, you! What's a Sylvari doing working for Kudu? The Inquest considers your people disposable, little more than kindling.
I was misled. My name is Peredur. Kudu tricked me into his service, and now I can't get away. I've seen what he did to the ones who tried to run.
We can help. I know how to deal with Kudu. Get us out of this cell, and we'll get you out of his clutches.
Kudu's crew is incredibly dangerous, but you seem familiar with their brutality, and this may be my only chance. Very well, I'll release you.
Any enemy of the Inquest is a friend of ours, Peredur. Now get on that console, make us a doorway, and fall in. We're all busting out together. Right, now let's go turn Plunka's face into one big bruise.
So the Savari just let us out. Let's go ahead and find Plunka. I have a feeling she's not expecting this to happen. Go ahead and leap in and get the attack on her.
Who let Snaff's afterthought out?
I did. Tell Kudu I said, I quit. Effective immediately.
Now you're the one who'll be uglier and deader, Plunka, but you'll never get any older.
Big mistake, Zojja. Kudu wanted you alive and suffering, but I have different priorities.
So let's go ahead and defeat Plunka and her golems.
Hey, Sylvari, guy. Whatever, just get over here.
Plunka is running over here. Looks like she's going to try to activate these golems. So let's go ahead and try to defeat these golems once they are activated. We can kind of see that they're shut down. And now they are up, so let's go ahead and defeat all of them. And also deal some damage to Plunka here as well. Maybe we could just focus Plunka. I'll throw down my rifle turret here.
This was a complete failure.
And let's go ahead and clean up this golem over here.
Run, miscreant!
And now let's go ahead and interrogate Plunka and have a chat with all of our friends here. She says, I won't tell you anything, you're not the boss of me. So let's go ahead and say you've lost the fight, but there's no reason to lose your life as well. Tell us about Kudu's plans, where is he now? You have no chance of stopping him, so I might as well tell you he's headed to Marat Balroot to field test the device. And we can say field test, there's no way he was able to build this device on his own. And he says, alone, did you forget we're Inquest? We're never alone. The invariant base provided everything we needed. So let's go ahead and chat with all of our friends now with this newfound information that we have.
One Inquest creep down, hundreds to go, but only one that matters. Kudu, we're coming for you.
If he heard that, he's shaking. We just need to find him before he does some real damage with my weather device.
Weather device? I heard Plunka talking about such a thing. It's being developed at the Inquest's invariant base. They've also scheduled a large-scale test.
Finally! Kudu keeps anticipating my actions, but now we're one step ahead of him. For once, he won't see us coming. What do you think, Savant? How can we hurt Kudu and recover your device? Should we storm the lab or disrupt the test?
Whichever you choose, I'd like to help. I owe Kudu for years of terror and abuse. So tell me, where do we strike?
So let's go ahead and come up with a plan of action here. So we can either attack Kudu's laboratory or we can defend the area where he is going to be testing. Let's go ahead and say what can we expect at the testing grounds. Hitting the beta test site gets us away from Kudu's defenses, but also gives him more of a means of escape. So let's go ahead and think this through. Let's go ahead and check out the laboratory information we have here. His lab's pretty far from the city, but Peridou said he will tell us where to go. Kudu will have defenses there, I assure you. You can ask another question, and I'm not actually going to ask a question. Let's go ahead and say nothing. I'm ready to make my decision. And I think I want to defend the beta test site because I think he's probably going to be using this on innocent civilians. So let's go ahead and try to defend any civilians that we can here. Let's go ahead and defend the beta test site and attack Kudu there. He will not be expecting that at all. We have a new rifle here that we can go ahead and equip. We can take a look at the rifle that we currently have on our back right now. Go ahead and equip this one, and we can see it is a brand new skin, and it is actually a pretty nice skin for the Asura. I like this a lot. A little bit of scope going on there. But let's go ahead and leave this story mission. And our next story mission is actually located in the next map, Brisbane Wildlands. So let's go ahead and enter through here. We can see the loading screen here. This is the second zone for the Asura. The Savari also come here as their second zone as well, and then is very close to humanity's second zone, so it's kind of like a third zone for them a little bit. But let's go ahead and come down here, and we will be exploring this zone a lot next episode. But you have this waypoint right here that we can go ahead and waypoint to at the start of next episode. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and just run past all of these places, and we can go ahead and kind of beeline straight to our story mission here. But we can see that the environment around us is very similar to Metakor province. It is part of the Maguma jungle, but of course we will see that it's very different, and we're going to see parts of the zone blending into other ecosystems as well, but we'll get there at some point. But let's go ahead and run across this bridge here. A kind of interesting design of a bridge. It's kind of like a shaped trapezoid. The shape is indeed a trapezoid, but let's go ahead and figure out how to get towards the story mission here. Can run into this cave, and we're at the Karsten Chambers, and let's go ahead and enter the story mission of Free Reign. We have Zojja here with Peridou.
Ready for some action? We found Kudu. Let's go deliver an inspirational beating.
And I can see Kudu right over here. Looks like there's some sort of portal there and some Inquest machinery around here as well. Let's go ahead and chat with this Inquest.
Zojja, good. I was afraid you'd been killed. And if you're dead, who will witness the ascendance of Snaff's greatest apprentice? As you can see, there are still a few glitches in the system. These unexpected elemental portals, for example. Too much unstable energy, I fear.
It's just like everything else about you, Kudu. Unstable. Now shut that thing down before your glitchy knockoff destroys everything.
But that's what field tests are for, right? Now that I've ironed out the kinks, my Weathermatic 5000 is ready for its debut.
That's my invention, Kudu. Shut it down now and we'll let you walk out of here. Well, limp out. There's still a beating headed your way.
Sorry, can't stay. I've got an appointment with the Arcane Council. I guarantee they'll be swept away by my demonstration. I just hope they're all wearing hip boots. I have the sneaking suspicion it's going to rain in Ratasum forever. Aw, did Zojja's mechanical best friend fall down? Oh, sparkles now, Tin Can. Feel the blinding sting of my blizzard. Wither, shrivel, curl and blacken in my blistering heat.
So let's go ahead and deal with all these portals here, and we can see that there are a ton of elementals coming out of the portals. And it looks like he has plans to basically attack Ratasum, and it looks like he might be endangering the Arcane Council as well. So let's go ahead and shoot this guy a little bit, and then we can go ahead and get him down.
Time for me to make my trademark.
He says, time for me to make my trademark. Well, time to escape. Kill you later, Zojja. So let's go ahead and destroy all the weather generators. We have the lightning generator here. Looks like they are pretty weak, so we will be able to deal with them pretty easily. We have a fire generator here, an ice generator right here, and then last but not least, an earth generator right here. And now let's go ahead and talk to Zojja. Looks like there's still some elementals around.
Where did Kudu go? I was going to cram his feet down his throat and make him swallow himself.
I like a plan with no drawbacks, but Kudu's long gone. He stole the designs for a personal teleporter ages ago. Whenever he's losing an argument or a fight or just losing face, zap, he's gone. Usually after getting in the last word.
He mentioned the council and said he was going to make it rain forever. But what does he get out of flooding Ratasum?
He's Inquest and he's petty. If he embarrasses the counselors or even kills a few, it disrupts the system. And the Inquest will capitalize on that.
Not if we stop him. And we will. The council is important, but did you hear what he named my invention? Weathermatic 5000, indeed. Kudu must pay.
So let's go ahead and leave the story mission, and then I believe we will be heading to Ratasum. I'll go ahead and just pick this reward here. Go ahead and equip it, and let's go ahead and indeed warn the Arcane Council and Ratasum about what is about to transpire. So let's go ahead and head back to Ratasum. We are at the center of the city here, and we can go ahead and enter the Arcane Council. Looks like the story mission here is called Flash Flood, and then let's go ahead and warn all the council members. Looks like Kudu's here already, so let's go ahead and approach him and see what is going on here. Looks like nothing good.
I hereby convene this special session of the Arcane Council. The floor is yours, Kudu, and make it good. We're busy people.
I guarantee you'll be impressed, counselors. My Weathermatic 5000 will change the world, starting with yours.
Stop! Kudu is setting you up. He's going to use that machine to flood Ratasum permanently.
Ah, Zojja. I trust the council is familiar with Snaff's former menial, and the Snaff's servant, a menial's menial. So glad you got my invitation, dear. I was afraid something terrible had happened to you. No matter. Plenty of time for that later. I have to run now, counselors. It's a wee bit failure-heavy in here for my taste. Enjoy the show.
So it looks like Kudu escaped once again, and there are a ton of Inquest in here. So let's go ahead and defeat the saboteurs, and it looks like the weather in here is pretty crazy. There is water everywhere, and let's go ahead and try to quickly deal with all of them before this chamber floods too much, and maybe it starts flooding Ratasum as well.
I got this. Anything Kudu built, I can shut down. Leave it to me.
Not so fast, Zojja. The council can take care of itself. We need experience, not...
Back off, Flax. I trained with Snaff, just like Kudu, so shut up and let me save us all. Putrescence. This thing's booby-trapped to summon elementals. Keep them off me while I work.
So let's go ahead and defend Zojja here. She has the ability to disable this machine, so I think it is a good idea that we do indeed defend her so that occurs. I have a feeling we're going to see like 4 different types of elementals that we saw earlier. So let's go ahead and deal with these sparks here that are like lightning elementals, air elementals. We will actually be exploring a profession pretty soon known as the Elementalist, and I am excited to kind of showcase what the Elementalist can do. And a quick sneak peek about that is that Elementalist can control 4 of the elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and then also can kind of control a 5th force known as Arcane. So we will be exploring all of that on a character at some point soon. Looks like ice is beginning to appear here in the council chambers, so I'm going to guess that means we will have to, we will be dealing with the trans-atmosphere converter now. So it looks like, unfortunately, our first machine that we built in order to get into the College of Synergetics is now a machine that we have to break in order to save Radasum. So let's go ahead and finish off the machine and destroy it once and for all here, so Kudu does not have the ability to cause any more harm, at least with these methods. And now let's go ahead and chat with everyone around here.
So, a deluge in your chambers and a bevy of hostile elementals. Is the council ready to declare Kudu a threat, or do you need more proof?
The council is well aware of the animosity between you and Kudu. For all we know, you came to sabotage his demonstration. I, for one, didn't see any elementals until after Zojja tampered with Kudu's device. This calls for a full subcommittee investigation.
Which will take months to reach a conclusion, if it ever does. With respect, Counselor, you're a buffoon. If Zojja and I hadn't...
Let it go, Savant. It's Radasum. The council's main duty is to preserve itself. These days, that means knuckling under to the Inquest. We stopped Kudu and destroyed the machine he stole from you. I'm gonna count that as a win. But I'm getting increasingly tired of council politics. Keep yourself available. I've got a few irons in the fire, and I'll want you with me when they're ready to come out. I'll be in touch.
So it looks like we are at the end of this story mission here, and we can go ahead and accept all of our rewards, and we also leveled up to level 24. So let's go ahead and pick our reward here, which I'm going to pick the power and precision spear gun, and let's go ahead and head back into Radasum, and we can go ahead and do a few things around here. First things first, let's go ahead and go through our inventory here and equip some new armor. And now let's go ahead and dye our armor a little bit. And I have applied some dye. I went ahead and did basically a green dye here because we are part of the College of Synergetics, and their primary color is green. And now that we have explored more about the Asuran Society and how the Council is kind of a not really great organization, even though they are the leaders of the Asura, there are tons of issues with them. And we have learned more about the Inquest as well as Kudu, who was one of Snaff's apprentices before Zojja kicked him out. Let's go ahead and return to the Snaff Memorial Lab. We can go ahead and take a little bit more of a look of this area, and we can also grab the POI that I missed here. You can see Zojja just hanging out over there, and you can see some crew apprentices around here. We can go ahead and get this point of interest here that is Zojja's workstation, and in parentheses it says don't touch. And now we can go ahead and look at Mr. Sparkles that is right here deactivated. And now let's go ahead and leave this area, and we can go ahead and explore 3 more points of interest, 2 more waypoints, and 2 more vistas. One of which is our home instance here, so let's go ahead and enter the Applied Development Lab. We will be heading to this home instance and the next chapter of the personal story. Let's go ahead and get a sneak peek of it right here, because we can go ahead and run all the way over here, and we can go ahead and get this point of interest that is available for us to unlock. And we can actually get a pretty good view of Radasum that we can see off in the distance there to the south. A very cool looking area. Engaged demo station is what this point of interest is called, and we can see that there's some sort of laser right here, so not entirely sure what's going on here, but definitely probably something interesting at least. But now let's go ahead and leave this area as well. And I believe all the last areas that we have to explore here in Radasum are on the bottom level of the city. We'll go ahead and take a long time exploring down here, and then if you missed anything up top, we'll go ahead and grab that as well. So first things first, let's go ahead and come to this waypoint right here, and you can unlock this waypoint, and we got this point of interest. We also unlock the Peacemaker headquarters, and a really interesting thing about Radasum is that we can actually come down here and we can see a prison complex here, and it is actually a really interesting area, and we can see that there are a few different prisoners around here. including a mad scientist. And then over here, there's actually a really fun thing, a ferocious bear, and we can see it is a Norn in bear form. And he says, "I'm not really a bear, hiccup, let me out, please." And we can go ahead and just leave him there because we don't have any control over what's going on in here. This is all the peacemakers doing work here, but there is actually something really fun. There's a little bit of an Easter egg here in Radisum, so I'm going to go ahead and run all the way back up to the top of the city, and then we can go ahead and actually land ourselves in prison by escaping Radisum. So how do we escape Radisum? Well, we are floating in the sky, so let's go ahead and come over to the edge of the city, and then we can just jump off, and we can try not to die, and we can try our best to get down towards the water level here. We've seen the water all around here, but let's go ahead and try our best to reach it. There are a few different areas that we can do this at, so let's go ahead and just come this way, and then hopefully I will not die. I think I'm going to be able to slide off this boat. Never mind. Let's go ahead and waypoint back up, and then we can try this again. Actually, I think I might have to just try to slide straight away maybe, so let's go ahead and line it up, or maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Let's go ahead and try this a few more times and see what the best way to deal with this is. So it looks like this is a little bit of a better method. We are now sliding down the edge of Radisum, and I didn't make it all the way. I'll go ahead and try that one more time. Using my raptor, looks like I got a little bit more distance here, so let's go ahead and just fall down here, and I think if I just die here, I will get off my raptor. So let's go ahead and just continue falling this way, and it looks like we just got teleported, and we can see that there's actually a player in here right now, and I think this is actually someone I saw on the Guild Wars 2 subreddit earlier, but we can now see that we are in a prison here. So let's go ahead and escape this area by just waypointing out. We can go ahead and leave that player there. I feel like he's taking screenshots, so I don't want to mess with him too much. And let's go ahead and continue exploring the city here, and we can go ahead and find more cool vistas to look at. And the last waypoint that is right over here that we can get. So let's go ahead and grab that, the Apprentice waypoint, and then we have this vista right here next to the Aquatarium that we can see. There is some water here, as well as some coral, and then some fishies swimming around as well. And now we have one more vista left to get. We have gotten all of the waypoints and all the points of interest around here. So let's go ahead and come this way, and we can go ahead and start a little bit of a jumping puzzle, very tiny jumping puzzle, not a proper fully fledged jumping puzzle, just a few jumps here. And then let's go ahead and look at this vista. And now we have completed the city of Radisum, so let's go ahead and get a reward here. And now at the end of this episode, I want to go ahead and take a moment to check out the bank. So let's go ahead and talk to our banker here. I've been accumulating many different items as we've been playing, and I've kind of just been storing them here, and I might actually just like unlock a second bank tab just so I can kind of store more things, because most of the stuff is stuff that I want to look at in the future. Actually, looking right now, let's go ahead and equip this leather bag here, and then I'll go ahead and pull out this 4-slot bag, and we can go ahead and equip it as well. So that clears up a space for us. We could actually probably sell these shoulder pads. We don't really need it, but this is what our bank looks like. We can see the shoulder pads, they are actually so bound to another character, the first character we made, Athos of Loamhurst. So the bank as a whole is account wide, so we can access it from every single character on our account, and I've been throwing some things in here, especially some stuff that we've gotten from our daily login rewards, such as this chest of Guardian's exotic equipment that I will open up once we reach level 80. But there are also 2 more tabs in our bank here. The first here is material storage, and you can see that we have been accumulating many different items as we have been playing throughout the game, and these are all different items that we can use with the different crafting disciplines that we have available in the game, which I will be exploring a little bit in the future from now. But we can see we have basic crafting materials, which are basically just like our basic wood, stone, cloth and leather, and then stuff like that. And then we come down here and we start seeing some more intermediate crafting materials such as claws and blood here, and then some more advanced crafting materials. Special ones here are mystic coins, which we have been getting some from just logging in every day, but there are some other sources of those as well. But if you actually come to our trading post here, we can see something really important about Guild Wars 2 and how you make money in Guild Wars 2 is we can type in the mystic coin here, and we can see each one of these is about 96 silver, 92 silver if we were to just sell it straight up to a buyer. So right here, sitting right here, we have about 21 gold sitting in our material storage right here with just these mystic coins, and we currently only have 3.5 gold. So when we are looking at Guild Wars 2, we have two different types of gold. We have liquid gold, and then we have material gold. Liquid gold is the amount of gold that we have in our wallet right now, which is 3.5 gold, and then our material gold can be found throughout all the different materials that we have. So we have these mystic coins here, and then we have all this wood, all this stone, all these blood and claws and stuff like that. If we were to add all of this up, we can go ahead and see that we actually have a lot more gold on our account right now than just this 3.5 gold. And if we were to sell all of these, it would no longer be material gold, it would be liquid gold in our wallet that we can then spend at like different vendors and on the trading post and stuff like that. And then in addition to this, I want to go ahead and shout out another kind of community resource that is available, which is called Guild Wars 2 Efficiency, which is basically where you can plug in an API key that you can get from the official ArenaNet account page that is tied to your account, which allows this website to basically read like information on your account, basically what achievements you have, what's in your material storage, what's in your character bank, and stuff like that. And it can basically give you a ton of information about your account, including statistics. And then like one cool thing is that you can see your total amount of gold that is in your material storage, and then you can also like quickly scroll down to see like what is worth the most gold, because it'll show like a lot of gold right here. It'll show like 21 gold, but if you come like right here, it'll show 29 silver, 98 copper that we have right there with that destroyer sliver. And then if you came up here, we have these pouches of green pigment, we have 3, so it would be 24 copper. So different amounts of money tied to each of these materials, where we can get a nice access of it. And then another nice thing about Guild Wars 2 Efficiency is that you can actually search for any item on your account, and it'll show you where it's located, be it in the material storage, your bank, or in any of your character's inventories. So if you're trying to find like a specific item that you may have left on a character, you can kind of just search it up. And then Guild Wars 2 Efficiency has a lot of other stuff that I'm just not going to cover right here, but you can kind of see on screen right now and that I've had on screen. And then if you're interested, you can explore it as well, and I'll have some links down in the description below for that. But the last tab we have here in our bank is wardrobe storage, and we can actually see all the different types of armor, or most of the types. Some are actually hidden, but we can see all the different skins that we have. So we can look at all the different weights for all the different armor skins, and then we can see all the different weapon skins, outfits, miniatures, and gathering tools. So just looking here, let's go ahead and look at medium. We can see we have unlocked 7 different types of medium headpieces here out of a total of 243.
Greetings.
So we have unlocked a few, but we have many more to go. Same goes for weapon skins. We've unlocked 3 out of 305 swords. And then we don't have any outfits unlocked, we don't have any miniatures, and we just have the basic harvesting tools
How are
unlocked.
your endeavors?
But with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here. Hope you all enjoyed watching this episode. I very much enjoyed playing through this episode, and I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the world of Terria. Goodbye.